What's up, guys? Lotodrandle here, and, well, I just saw Psycho Family Therapy, where apparently, according to McJuggernuggets, they literally got nowhere. Now, there was something in that 36-minute, 37-second video near the end that sets me off. Now, I'll have the link in the description box down below. But I'm gonna just summarize it like this. McJuggernuggets feels that his father and his brother and his mother feels the same way, especially towards the father. That McJuggernuggets is being disrespected, put on full blast, treated like dirt. And McJuggernuggets feels that when his stuff was destroyed by his psycho dad, Big Brother didn't give a damn. That he just relished in the moment. Whether it's fake or not. Anyway. Now, I'm going to go into something that, and honestly, I don't wish ill will on any of these people, specifically the therapist and the father. Those two need to be slapped in the face, the father kicked in the nuts. Here's why. The stereotypical labeling, putting blame of violence on video games. Oh boy. I kinda have to admit I saw the therapist pulling this shit. I saw it coming a mile fucking away. Various studies have discovered that violent video games like Halo, Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto could lead to individuals that play these games to having violent tendencies, exhibiting violent behavior. Bullshit. Now, I'm not gonna say video games are completely innocent. I mean, they could have a teensy weensy effect. I'm not gonna say I'm a hardcore gamer like McJuggernuggets. I mean, he does this shit on YouTube. Although it's more revolving now around the Psycho series than anything. But I play video games a lot. Even though I have a job, I still play a lot of video games. And I'll give some examples. Destiny, Skyrim, Legacy of Kain, specifically the Soul Reaver series, Final Fantasy series, Dynasty Warriors, Samurai Warriors, Dragon Age. I mean, I play a lot of games, a lot of various games. I mean, I could try to delve into this if I really wanted to. This thing holds up to 200, could hold up to 200 some games. So you know what? Just for kicks, I'll go ahead and name off some. Dragon Age Inquisition, Toukiden Kiwami, Mortal Kombat X, Final Fantasy, Dragon's Dogma, Dynasty Warriors, Mario Kart, Legend of Legaia, Dynasty Warriors 8 Extreme Legends, Warriors Orochi 3 Ultimate, Mortal Kombat Complete Edition, which was on the PS3 and 360, Legacy of Kain Defiance, White Knight Chronicles, True Crime Streets of LA, Shining Force, Chaos Legion, Devil May Cry. I mean, literally, I could go on and on. Now, video games that have that show violence and gore. Definitely Mortal Kombat, a very big one. And there's also the Call of Duty series. I don't play that. It's It's FPS, has a lot of blood in it, or has blood in it. There's also Destiny. That's a first-person shooter, just without all the blood. I mean, well, unless you want to call the Vex fluids blood, if you want to call it that. Here's the thing. People these days, especially with a lot of crimes, homicides, a lot of these murderers or killers, or however you want to put them, have always had this taste for video games. It's just a fucking video game. You can't expect... Okay. I've always viewed the human populace in some shape or form as corrupted. My reasoning: politics have fucked up with a lot of things. People are being judgmental towards certain minorities. Bullying. Poor treatment. And this unending, vicious cycle of blame games. Now, the thing with the video games, there are various people out there in the world that still play games. Whether it's card games, board games, video games. The card and board games can be considered family-based. For one board game, Monopoly, Clue, Life, Operation. Video games, here's the thing. With video games, there seems to be a really thin line now. There is this whole Anita Sarkeesian Gamergate with how women are apparently being stereotyped as damsels in distress who cannot save themselves. The hell? There's been various games with heroines in them. And I'll be honest, some of them I think have just been off the imagination. I think one of the very first, among the first that involved the damsel in distress, Donkey Kong, along with the Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers 3, Super Mario World, which is a good game actually in my book. Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars, I think is the whole name of it. It was for the Super Nintendo. I really didn't get to play all of it. I actually have it on my, I want to say on the Wii menu portion of my Wii U. I'm trying to... Battle of Olympus, a lesser-known video game, was for the old Nintendo. Had the same... kind of the same little... plot, save the maiden. You guys can get what I'm saying. Somehow they got stereotyped. And now video games are now being labeled as one of the leading causes of violence in young adults, with all these links to homicides, suicides, whatever. Guys, this is my way of thinking, and a lot of you may agree with me, and some of you may disagree, or some of you may agree, many of you may disagree. Video games aren't the cause. Honestly, it's just a freaking game. At the end of the day, the individual consciously makes choices in life. Like McJuggernuggets, he made the conscious choice to start up his YouTube channel with his brother. I honestly think they both started together, and Big Brother feels slighted because he isn't getting credit. I don't know. Well, he's touched base on the lack of credit when he smashed Truth, did the second his revenge video. Epic fail, by the way. But this whole violence linked to video games. Now, I get the studies, really, I do. But you can't just point the finger at the video games. You have to point the finger at the person. Everybody responds differently. Me, I've seen my fair share of violence. I've been in fights when I was younger. I got into fights with my own sisters, my own full sister, I should say. My half sister and I, we were close. My full sister and I weren't close up until my junior high school years, where she and I finally buried the hatchet, figuratively. But my first violent video game exposure was at 8 years old, playing Mortal Kombat 3 for the Super Nintendo. Exposed at a young age. And look at me now. I loathe violence. I'm not a pacifist. I'll fight, but only if and only if there is no other way out. That's it. Now, as for, with these, and it seems like a lot of the blame for all of these murders, homicides that go toward the game link is mostly FPS games, first-person shooters, Halo, Call of Duty, Battlefield, and a lot of them seems to have the Call of Duty paint all over it of sorts. I don't like that. Now, while I kind of understand the studies, as I said, and I see why people feel that gaming is a bad thing, it can also be healthy. It really depends on the use and the purpose. McJuggernuggets feels, for him, it's part of his job. He wants the game because it's what he loves. And his mother touched base saying that, if it, and no one's keeping the father from doing what he wants, what he likes, what he loves to do. So why should they do that? Why should McJuggernuggets be kept from it? Now, I'm not going to go in any further about the whole McJuggernuggets thing. It broke down. It didn't get anywhere. But my way of looking at this, it opens up a huge, huge point here. People shouldn't really blame video games for all of this crazy shit. They should blame the people themselves, because they chose they chose to carry out the deed. Just because they play video games doesn't mean it led them to do it. They chose it. No, seriously. If that's going to be said, then I should be. Would I be blamed? Would they blame? If I were to choose to kill somebody, would they blame my video games? Probably. My point is this: the individual that carries out the deed made the choice to do it. Video games or not, whether it was with or without video games. They chose. Conscious decision. Just saying. So for those of you out there who feel that games are terrible, you can be considered right, but a lot of people will believe you wrong. Myself included. But at the same time, I look at this as a glass half empty, glass half full. I think the gaming could be good in moderation, in bursts. I don't play game. The longest time I've spent playing games, I want to say it's about 4 or 5 hours. 4 or 5. It's a rough estimate, and that's in total. The longest burst would be about 3 to 5. It really depends, you know? Other games that I could play, Legend of Zelda, Monster Hunter, which there's really no blood in either of them. There's hunting the Monster Hunter, there's, killing stuff, capturing, but there's no blood. There's a lot of crazy shenanigans. Pokemon, which it can just be, a game for everyone. There's people out there who, that play the card game. A friend of mine actually, kind of a friend of mine. He won the regionals in Georgia. And now he has enough points to go to the World Championships. Hey, congrats to him, and hope he does well. Whether he does or not, we'll find out. I don't know why people think video games are the cause of murders, homicides, suicides, and violence. I think, honestly, there is more connection that meets the eye with various influences. A person with how they are brought up, how they think, how they behave, period. Games could have maybe like I said, a very minimal influence. I think that depends on the individual themselves. So at the end of the day, you guys can agree with me or you can disagree. But you, at the end of the day, make the choices you make. Not because no one puts a gun to your head. No one put a gun to your head and told you to kill the people you kill. Those of you who've done that, you made the choice. You chose to do it. All the serial killers out there, all the criminals, they made that choice in life. Some of them may be forced by an outside influence, but a lot of them just do it by choice. One of my former friends did that. Unfortunately, he was punished. Another one of my former friends got sent to prison. Never heard from him since. I'm just saying. It's rather tragic in a sense, and ironic, how gaming is so looked down on. How everyone sticks up their nose at and looks down on the gamers of society. Everyone has a right to their opinion, but don't shove your opinion down everyone's throats. Like Psycho Dad trying to shove down McJuggerNugget's throat that he needs to stop gaming, period. And then you are entitled to what you think, to how you feel, and what you believe. They're your feelings, your thoughts, your opinions. Don't force. But if someone doesn't agree with you, don't force it on them, because that makes you look like a jackass. It makes you the bad guy, in a sense. When you're trying to make a point, that's one thing. But when you try to shove it down someone's throat, that's when everyone around you knows that you're an asshole. Because you are painting that image. Whether it's when you blame somebody for something that you are supposed to be responsible for, whether it's blaming somebody for something they didn't do. that you know they didn't do, but you blame them anyway because of some other fucked up reason. Learn that, which brings up the other point that I was talking about: responsibility. Whether it's the gaming world, the outside world, or the real world, as some people can call it. There's rules and responsibilities wherever you go. Accept it. Accept responsibility of your own actions. Accept responsibility for yourself. And just move on. If you do something you shouldn't, take responsibility and try everything you can to make sure it doesn't happen again. Well, guys, that concludes what I came out here to say. You know, what I concludes what I came on here to say. You know, that video, like, I not really doing my opinions on it, you know, but it just watching it brought up a point that has been touched on a lot, which was the blaming violence, linking video games to some negative activity in the world. So that's what I had to say, guys. Feel free to hit that like button if you liked what I've had to say. If you like what you saw, hit the subscription button if you want to see more. And again, I had touched base about uploading some gaming videos like Crucible and Destiny. There's been a lot of cheating during the Trials of Osiris, so I've avoided that. So I might do some just regular Crucibles till the Osiris one is straightened out. Also, you know, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys had a great, you know, end of the month, the weekend, with tomorrow being the 1st. Right now it's 11:34, so almost midnight, almost June 1st. How time flies. Whether it's when you're having fun, and it's amazing how as you get older, as it seems, time flies quicker. Well, hope you guys have a good rest of the night going into the new month. Keep it real.